Oh, look at that. Right on time. Let's see here. Um, Hi, everybody. Hang on one second. Chat rules. Y'all know them by now, right? What are they? Please be over the age of 17 and please be kind to one another. Yay! Hello, everybody. It's Sunday. Happy Sunday. And I'm on time. Yay for me. Imagine that. Christine is actually on time. Hello, Heather. You are first in, according to my chat. How are you, my dear? I've been meaning to get over and look at that new fairy fairy, right? That you're working on. I think it was you that was working on the fairy. Somebody's working on a fairy. Hello, Libby. Hello, Thomas. Hello, everybody. Hang on, let me pop out my chat. Toss it over here on this side so I can see it and make that size. Throw it over there so I can see it. Hello, Robin. And hello, Crystal and Mona and Daryl Lynn and Kimberly and Rochelle and Susan uh, and all of you and Sherry. And yes, it was you, and you're going to scream. Okay, good. I thought it was you. And color you a pink monkey. I love that name. I don't know your real name, but I like to color you a pink monkey. Hi, everybody. I'm Christine, and you're trying to quit biting your fingernails. Well, that's a good thing to not bite them. I never have bit mine, so I don't know. I don't know why people do it. So anyway, good for you, Thomas. And oh, Jess, you're Jess. Okay, I will try to remember that, Jess. It will help me if I write it down on my list. Hang on. This is now behind me, and you can see that it's somewhat yellowed from being on the wall, but it's got a lot of people's names on it. Okay, so color me, hang on, a pink monkey. I'm a visual, so if I write it down, it's easier for me to remember. Okay. Anyway, we are going to look. First off, let's look at some new things. This is sort of a companion piece to this, and these are dahlias, and so they're gonna be. This is a work in progress. I worked on this a bit yesterday, and I'm at the point where I'm inking it. I haven't done any of the leaves yet, but I'm liking it so far, and so that I'm working on that. I have made very little coloring progress on this. I'm still, of course, trying to finish up these flowers so then I can shoot it, so I can put various backgrounds behind it. You shoot a picture of it, and this is what I'm going to color today, and I'm going to use the Sargent Arts on this because I am liking them. And this is an update on the coloring progress that I'm making on the one we started a couple weeks ago. Sorry, of the mermaid with the ink tints. And so I wanted you to see the colors that I've chosen. And I'm doing this twisted metal frame with various shades of golds and browns. And so those are those. And then this has been printed for a while, so it's got various bits of goo on it uh, from the cat and all of that. And then this, sorry for the glare, is where I finally ended up with Mr. Platypus. As you can, well, you may not notice, but I darkened up all of the uh, colors, and I used that dark blue that Kim T had suggested for the uh, uh, darker parts of the platypus bill, and I really like the way that that turned out. This one, Daryl Lynn, well, we're going to color that today, so you're going to get to see lots of it. And hello, Michelle, and I am just fine. And how are you? And hello to anybody who has snuck in that I didn't say a personal hello to yet. Hello, Risa, and okay. Anyway, okay. So there is that. And then, of course, we have these beautiful, beautiful, literally my new favorite budget pencil is the Sargent Art Supremes. I love the way they blend. I love the color depth. I love the true nature of the color that it says it is on the shaft, and well, most of them. And so that's what we're going to use to color this today. Stressed trying to make a new banner for your channel, and it came out different of what you want. Well, sometimes, Michelle, and we all know that I say this all the time, that it looks like it. Heather, would you mind? I'm assuming you're volunteering. Yeah, too late. You're already one. Hello, Alicia, and uh, uh, and welcome, welcome. Anyway, sorry, I see. This is what happens. I am so easily distracted. Um, and can I just say that I have really been looking forward to this all week, because it's crazy out there. It is craziness out there in social media land. And I don't want to do crazy. I'm done with crazy. People have just lost their freaking minds. And it breaks my heart. Anyway, yeah, we're going to color. We are going to color, and I'm going to get you down here to where you can actually see what we're going to color. And thank you, Mona, for that thumbs up. Yeah, those thumbs up really help to get it up into suggesteds and all of that. Thank you to all the new subscribers, by the way, this week. That has been so wonderful to see new people joining every week. My numbers don't grow by huge, gigantic amounts, but they grow by enough each week that it makes me think that I'm okay, that I'm not a complete failure. So let's see here. What am I doing here? I'm trying to pull up some camera controls. How about that, Christine? You know where they are? Yeah, I do. Okay, and we are going to zoom down. We're going to pull the camera just a little bit down, and we are going to move that away so I can check that focus. Actually, what I need to do is move this out. Whoops. Oh, I think that's got it, but you guys will tell me. Okay. So this, by the way, this drawing is available in my Etsy shop. And if I am a nice guy, I will grab this up, which I am, and copy and paste. And that is the 25% off discount coupon. Now, that particular coupon is good on all the books and all the sets. Individual drawings aren't priced very high, so that's why I took them out of that, because I found out that I was actually paying more in fees than I was getting. So they were a loss if I used that 25% discount on an individual drawing. And I thank you, thank you, Mona. I will keep that in mind. And thank you for volunteering. I know that my mods, I have a couple of mods that actually are silent. So I know that they're usually there if trouble brews, but I'm not absolutely positive this week. So, but yes, I will keep that in mind. Okay. Now I need to move this out of the way. Oh, for heaven's sakes. It's right in my way and I don't have, wait, I got to get rid of it. There. That got rid of it so that I couldn't see. All right, so what do I want to do? I think one of the first things I want to do is I'm going to start with a background. And I do want to, and I'm actually picking this up from a coloring of this that Barb Zinger, it might have been Carol in my group, did. And she did this back section back here in navy blue. So I'm going to do that. I am not shading it or anything like that. I am just going to straight color it in navy blue. And we're going to see how that works. I don't want to get too dark with it. I can later, if I decide that I want to pick out those. I don't want to cross. That's the hard part. Is I don't want to necessarily do this, although I could because it helps. And I'm going to do these sort of one at a time. So don't despair that this is just, going to be boring straight coloring, because I am going to do some shading and show you how wonderfully these pencils work. But I do want to. Now, I could also, and actually I probably should, but I think it's too late now with this, because I think this is oil-based pencil. You could, if you wanted to do a dark color like this on a background, first, you could use your markers, your alcohol markers, and then you could use your pencils everywhere else. And so that probably would have been a better approach. But if you don't have any alcohol markers, then straight coloring is the way to go. And whoops, now that was a mistake. So I will pull my eraser. I will make sure that it is clean. And then I will erase that, because I messed that up. And if you are talking to me, if you would put it in caps so that I can sort of pick it out. Okay, Sherry, yes, that is important, especially in the heat that we are all suffering from. My goodness. I know in England it is hotter than it's ever been. You guys are like putting new records on, aren't you? And here is the same thing. And of course, for anybody who knows where I live, or, at least in the general vicinity, I got a hurricane coming over the top of me, along with all of the folks in Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, and all of that kind of good stuff. So it is definitely going to be an interesting week coming up. And there's there's lots of other crazy things going on. So it's like, it's just like, oh, this is, coloring and being able to share this time with you guys and hopefully have you share it with me is, is wonderful. You're on the East Coast also, Mona. Yeah, it's, it's like, do you ever just get to a point where you're thinking, enough, we've had enough. Plague, pestilence, all, you know, all the other stuff. Hello, Susan. Hello, and welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. How is the new baby dog? Um, Marley, right? Marley. Um, Thomas, 2 o'clock every day. Or no, 2 o'clock every Sunday, sorry. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So wherever you live, if you know what time it is on the East Coast of the United States, that's what time I start, which I believe is 7 p.m. UK time, 8 p.m. GMC plus one time, and all of that. Because they're 5 and 6 hours ahead, respectively. And then, of course, in Malaysia, it is 2 in the morning because our time is exactly 12 hours different at this time of the year. And then there are other places like Australia, I think, where it's like, 15 and a half hours ahead of us. I'm not sure where the half hour comes from, but anyway. So I could continue on, but here, and where Coriander is, I honestly don't know where she is. She's somewhere cool. She's probably hanging out on top of one of the air conditioner vents somewhere because it's hot. And I defleed her yesterday, and so she's comfortable again, and so she's probably happily snoozing away somewhere. Okay, now I want these to be that pretty gold color that I am so fond of. So I've got the daisy. Wait, I don't want the daisy. I want let me go with the dark yellow. And I'm just going to be very light with it in the center here. I'm going to keep using it, but I want it to be, this is primarily going to be like this potato brown type thing, because it's meant to be a cocoon. So it's 1119. No, sorry. We're supposedly we are going to be on the windward side of the storm, and that's what's concerning. The rain and the rain is not going to be substantial here, but when you're on the windward side of the storm, coming off the ocean, so in other words, the eye is going to be further to the west as it crosses over my area. So we're going to get all the storm surge. And in my area, that's the problem. The problem is flooding. Oh, Barb, thank you so much for that super chat. You are just such a sweetheart, my dear. And is it you that did this one in this? It's either you or Carol, and I don't remember which one of you did it, that did this one with the black or with the dark blue background. And Risa, this is my drawing pencil eraser. And it's a pen that comes with these inserts, and it's just a white eraser, because I draw with just cheap mechanical pencils when I draw, and I don't, if they come with this black eraser, I don't like it. So I use this, but there are also, it depends upon what you're trying to erase. Kim, glad to see you. Kim, I've added Heather as a moderator as well. And I also have this big white gum eraser. So for coloring, I'm going to say always use a white latex eraser, or the white eraser. If you're erasing your sketch work, or you're working on delicate paper, then you can use a kneaded eraser. Like, for instance, I use a kneaded eraser on, where'd it go? Like this. I will roll it into a cylinder, and then I will roll it over my pencil work so that I could get as much of the graphite lifted, but still be able to see it, because that way I can ink right over it. So, oh, Gary, see, I told you that mods were here. A lot of them are just really quiet. They sit in the background. And anyway, so, but for just a general standard use eraser, I would suggest either one of these two. Then also for fine erasing, if you want to use, if you need to erase a little tiny area, or if you want to use your eraser to create highlights, like for instance, if I wanted to create little little patches in this area, or little dots as an effect, you can use one of these. It's a little battery operated, very, very cool eraser. And you can just do tons of stuff with it. Be sure to clean it off. This poor pad over here wasn't designed for this kind of thing. So anyway, but yeah, you can do that. And then of course, if you decide that you made a mistake, and you've misplaced your blue pencil somewhere, you can just put it all back in. And sometimes, if you've done that and it creates sort of this interesting patterned effect, you go, ooh, I like that. Anyway. All right, so back to hopefully that helped, Risa. But there are just a ton of different kinds of erasers. I've got a blue eraser that came with my my technical, my compass and rulers and stuff like that. So I'm just going to work these colors until I get the sort of shine that I want. I could even add in a darker brown if I wanted a more golden or a more red brown out here, because I want these, like I said, I want this to look like a cocoon that this colorful butterfly is escaping out of. And your cocoon doesn't have to be white. It can be, it can be, sorry, oh, hey. Oh, I see. You don't like being caught on the light up there. And I'm actually pressing, probably harder than I would if I was just sitting here coloring, but I want to get it to a point where you guys can actually see it. Although I will say that if you press harder too soon, it actually makes it harder to blend the colors together. So as as much patience as it takes to do layering with a good blending pencil. And that's just it. These are a good blending pencil. They're not bad for straight coloring either. You know, they give, like I say, they give good depth of color, and now they do rub. So if you like rub your finger over it, you will rub it into your uncolored areas. So I would not suggest rubbing it unless that is the effect you're going for. If you want a feathered edge on something, then you can lay down a lot of color and then just rub on it with your finger and, feather that out so that it looks like it's soft and, furry on the edges. There's just so many different things that you can do with pencils, which is why they are so versatile. Now, you can't do that with all pencils. You need a pencil, that lays down a soft medium, like an oil-based pencil or a wax-based pencil that's highly pigmented. Yeah, I guess what I'm saying, you need a highly pigmented pencil. Okay, so we did that part that way. Now this part, do I want this to be, I think I want that to be a little bit darker all the way around this side. So I may do this. And give it a dark undertone where I did the gold on this one. I just like these blues and browns because then I can make that, something really popping like orange. And it's going to look so good with the, with the blues and the browns. I would never have been a brown blue color fan until, because it never really occurred to me. It wasn't colors that particularly appealed to the people that I grew up with, for home decor and stuff like that. Until my aunt, it was my aunt on my dad's side that used brown and blue, and I didn't like it. And then I saw it used properly. That sounds awful, but then I saw it used better and I liked it. Hers was very Western themed. It was a Western themed home, lots of cowboys and Western art, things like that. And it just wasn't my personal taste. So, but then I can still bring in some yellow or some gold and give it a warmer, a warmer tone, just like that. So, and if that's not dark enough, you can even go, you can take a shade darker. This is the black, I believe. Yeah. So you can just throw a little bit of black in there if it's not dark enough down on the corners. And then this, I want to be black down here. I want this part down here to actually be black. Although not so black that it, that it gets lost. I don't want it to be void space. I just want it to be dark space. And then I can use something like the maize color, which I love this color, to sort of warm that up as well, to make it bring it in. Maybe pull just a tiny bit of the brightness through there. A little bit more of the black, and then maybe a little bit more of that dark brown. Just to give it some just to make it look like it belongs. Now, oops, actually that's not what I want. I want this. Oh, nope, that's not what I want. I want the black. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of difficulty seeing it here. There we go. And like I say, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be, smooth it all out. This needs to be your own, just creative. So now we can do something really wild and crazy with our butterfly. We can take a bright orange or Like, for instance, this is a burnt orange. I don't want that. I think I want to try the bright orange wings. And maybe I'll use the bright orange. Actually, you know what? I think I'll do this. I think I will do the golden yellow or tan. Definitely not tan. I think I want the golden yellow. I want to do this guy first. You know, because otherwise I think that trying to get around all that orange is going to be harder than I want it to be. So if I do it like this, and see, I'm just straight coloring. I mean, you know, these are little spaces. I'm just straight coloring them. Kind of hard pressure. Don't need to get all fancy on it. Excuse me. And all right, then I think I'll do this here. We'll just make it 2 colors. The point is that you don't always have to do technique and, you know, and make everything fancy and all of that. Sometimes it just suits a piece best if you just have fun with it. Just do it simply and don't worry about, you know, whether or not it's, you know, worthy of art hanging on the wall or whatever. That's not what coloring is about. It's not what my art is about. My art is about, sorry, having fun. And, oh, good, it has been downgraded. As of this morning still, Kathy? I'm hoping. We are expecting the hurricane, but now it looks like it may go a little north. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Trust me. All that open water out there. Yeah, I know. I got to tell you guys, it's the ice storms that I worry about. And here is why. When I was married the second time, I got to a point where I was working really hard. We weren't having a really great time with our marriage, and I desperately needed a vacation. I was desperate, and so I bit the bullet and booked a vacation to Hawaii. I'd never been there, but I didn't want to go to the commercial areas of Hawaii. I wanted to go where it was green and lush. I wanted to go to the jungles of Hawaii, not the water. And so I booked it for Kauai, because Kauai is the wettest, greenest of all the islands. On the night before we were supposed to leave, right at 5 o'clock, my boss calls me in. And just as I'm about to leave, and he says, "By the way, Christine, I know you haven't seen the news yet." And I'm like, and He said, well, Hurricane Iniki is about to wipe out Kauai. Now, given that in 2 hours' time, I'm supposed to be on an airplane, right? I'm packed. I'm ready. My husband better be at that door with those bags in his hand, or it's over. So I said, I don't care. The travel agent said, we can't cancel and get you a refund. I said, in that case, we're going. We'll figure it out as we go. Well, in the air, they actually rerouted us. Obviously, we could not go to Kauai. And by now, the hurricane has all passed over. But I'm on an airplane, so I don't know what's going on. And so, sure enough, they did in fact reroute us to Maui. They upgraded my ocean view room to an ocean front room for the inconvenience, which was just fine by me. There are still plenty of jungly places on Maui, and okay, so there's the first ice storm, right? Now, when I moved east, uh, I had been here a year when Hurricane Isabel hit, and we were out of power for 9 days. Count them, 9 calendar days. I, at that point in time, was running my business online. Obviously, I was out of business. And so then came Irene, and now, of course, we have Isaias, which I think is Isaias spelled weird. 9 days, Kathy. 9 days. By the time, and the power truck kept stopping at our, the transformer sits right outside my house, right? Now, keep in mind that my neighbor next door had his power restored that Saturday. It hit on like a Thursday. He had his power restored on Saturday. On Monday, they restored the power to the cross street houses across the street. There were 8 of us in between, in the houses in between that had no power. Yeah, because we got our power from a different pole. The power main came from a different pole. And yes, I did. I do hate that, Mona. So it was, and then we would see, and the power company, we'd hear them because you can't hide those big trucks. They'd come out with a big bucket. They'd go up the thing. They'd look at the transformer. They'd come down, and then they'd leave, and they wouldn't come back. And so I finally, one day I heard them. Day 9, I heard them. I went outside, and I literally cried. I mean, I was like, it was a power company from Alabama, it was from Alabama. I think it was Alabama, whatever it was. And I just said, I said, but you don't understand. My neighbor has power. Those people down the street have power. We've been out of power for 9 days. I am out of business. I am about to starve to death. There's nothing left in the house to eat. And took him 5 minutes. 5 minutes to transfer us to a different power pole and give us back our power. Oh, I'm sorry, 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Needless to say, I was a hero in the neighborhood for about 3 days. And then everybody just went back to their back to their business, which was fine by me. Last thing in the world I ever wanted to do was call attention to myself. My God. Anyway, all right, so there's one of them. And, that's just cute. So let's go on to another one. So what are some of your stories? Yeah, it just matters. It does. It just matters that you enjoyed coloring. That is all that coloring should bring to you. You don't have to concentrate on getting better at it. You just got to do it. I finally, I like to learn, obviously, but not everybody does, and not everybody should have to. It is just about enjoying the journey. Now, obviously, I'm going to do this one different than that one. Um, and you can bring in your bling. Like, for instance, I want to test, I do want to test how these glitter markers will work over over this. Wait, I guess I should look in the swatch book, right? To see how these glitter markers look. Oh, look, and I've also got those glitter markers. I could pull those out. There they are. Coppery yellow orange. I don't think these have any. Let's assume that this is copper yellow orange. You do have to shake them. And thank you, Heather. Oh yeah. Okay, I like it. So even adding something as simple as a little glittery embellishment and these seem to go down just fine over the Sargent Art. Hang on a second while I sort of hold my breath while I do this so I don't completely make a big blob of color. There we go. And might as well just add a couple out there too. Why not? Okay, so now let's look at that. Let's see if I can get it to, does that show up? Yeah, there it is. So you can see that. That's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. So have fun, play, and just and hello, Shara. Hello, Shara. Yes, actually, I had been until I moved out here too. Every single one of them. I'll take an earthquake over a hurricane any day of the week. Any day of the week. No anticipation time. No worry time. It's just there and then it's gone. Few aftershocks. Life returns to normal. Of course, dependent upon the severity, there are, some pretty heavy consequences to pay, like a freeway that comes down on your car or freeway bridge that comes down on your car and pancakes you underneath it. But look at the bright side. You won't know that that happened. I was reminded the other day as I was talking to somebody about the fact that, that I haven't been over the water, out of this area where I live. There's only one way out. Well, there's two ways out, but one of them is usually directly into the storm, and the other one is away from the storm. But both involve crossing water, big bodies of water. And I always, when you get in those tunnels underwater, it's hard not to think about that. I imagine that the channel, is that what they call it? The tunnel between France and England that goes under the English Channel. Ooh, that's probably a harrowing experience. Oh yeah, car accidents are terrible, Thomas, but probably not best discussed here. Hang on, just reading chat here. Yeah, actually, I should do a the these markers. Yeah, and you can actually add a second coat as well. I like these paint markers. The Zier. I mean, there's lots of companies that make these, but I like these Ziers. They're bright. They're pigmented well. I also have the. You could use gel pen, glitter, glitter gel pen. You can use all sorts of different things. I love the art paints. Hang on. So I've got the, like this one is silver, but I've also got one called hologram, which is what I used on. See if I can find it. Hologram is what I used here on this. So that's I just used blah 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 Inktense behind it, and then just put a layer of hologram paint on it. So Yeah, you can see I like to stick with these colors for some reason. They just make an appearance in just about everything I color. Okay, so making quite a meal of this butterfly here. All right, there we go. We're going to stop there. And I am going to, in order to sort of preserve continuity, I am going to do the shell or the cocoons sort of the same way. I'll change up the butterflies and the flowers because they're all four flowers are different and all four butterflies are different. But all the cocoons are the same. Plus, I just like it, and that'll give me a chance to sort of concentrate on. I love these pencils. I have to say, love my Prismacolors, but I love these too. I think it's just that I really like that, that there's a pencil this easy to use that is at such a good price point. I also saw the colors on the new Monarchs. Now, I was not going to add or want to add to my Black Widow collection. I don't particularly love my Black Widows, but I realized that one of the things that I don't love about them isn't the way they lay down. They lay down beautifully. And, ooh, Prime Truck outside your house. Yahoo! Hopefully they're coming to you. Hopefully to you, Caroline. It's partly the colors. There's such a, it is such a dark palette. All the colors are beautiful and intense, but there were no skins, there were no pastels, there were no any of those types of things. Well, the Monarch set apparently corrects that. So I have added it. I have added it to my list. We shall see. We shall see one day if they are a good match or not. They seem like they might be. But I saw them over on Karen Zucchini Kitty's channel. I have once again, by the way, shouted out Whippoorwill Holler as my Sunday shout out, and that is because she just keeps coming up with these really good recipes. I tried the cucumber salad refrigerator pickle recipe, and I made it twice in the last week and a half. And it's just basically, I just used one cucumber, one Roma tomato, one half of an onion, and then the pickle, the half a cup of water. I used half a cup of water, a quarter cup of vinegar, and a quarter cup of sugar, or 3 tablespoons of sugar. Sorry, 3 tablespoons of sugar, and just created a pickle, light pickle. it kept in the refrigerator for days and was really, really good. So I am just going to say that I really, really recommend that particular recipe. And then the other yesterday, she put. Whoops, I think that's not the one I want. Yesterday, she posted something about. Maybe it is the one I want. Something about pickling squash. And I thought, ooh, that sounds good. So that's what she's doing with the last of her yellow crookneck squash, is she's pickling it. I thought, oh, yum. And of course, my favorite soup in the world is butternut squash. Oh, I love butternut squash. Absolutely adore. And it's just so expensive at the store. My goodness, a butternut squash is like $4 for one little squash. And so I'm like, I could grow butternut squash. Probably not this year because it's too late, but maybe next year. Or I might actually still be able to get a crop this year. I don't know. I'd have to find a seed source or a plant source that still had some. And quite frankly, in this time, I am just not looking forward to going out and doing shopping. So adding a little bit of yellow. Maybe not creating this one as brown as the one before. Using black to pull out my color or darken it. Okay. Yeah, I could do that as well. Although um, that you can do, yes. I had a cantaloupe earlier this year. I wished I'd have saved the seeds. I really do. It was bar none the best cantaloupe that I have ever eaten, and every one after it that I purchased has been a serious disappointment. Um, and one that I certainly wouldn't consider keeping the seeds on. But oh, what did I do? I used blue. Oh well, blue will work as well. I think I used navy blue instead of black there, but that'll work. Anyway, so I'm trying to use a little bit better technique here. Since I know how to do it better, I should do it better. just sort of add a little bit of that in. And I mean, because I can always hide the fact that those are sort of charcoal-y color ugly. Charcoal ugly. By the let's see, I want something bright and beautiful for this one. So how about we do this beautiful bright purple here. This is the fun part, getting to decide the getting to decide the colors. Today is National Coloring Book Day, is it? I'm going to do this one also in this. Just nice and dark and fun and bright, cheerful, and all of that kind of good stuff. Okay, so now then, now that I've used purple for that, what color should I use for the inside? I do believe that it may be the bright, right? Yes, the bright. Show me your bright colors. I don't know that that is bright enough. What I want is bright. See, that's tan. I don't want tan. Let's see if yellow is not bright enough. I'm going to go with a gold champagne, maybe. I think we'll do this. We'll go with this yellow. That's the name of the color is just plain yellow. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Yeah, I like that. And then we can use the Sears. And I want the gold champagne, which is this one. So, or, this right here, which is even more, sort of goldeny yellow. Oh, yeah. That'll work. What that does, by the way, when you shake it again, is it moves a little bit of paint down the shaft without having to, because normally the way that you get these going is you have to push on the nib, and the paint sort of falls down around it, but it creates a blob. But if you just shake it, it's sort of a little bit of paint comes down the shaft naturally. And you have far less danger of blobbing it up on your page or wasting a ton of paint blobbing it up on a throwaway page. This is what happens when you think frugally. To me, everything is thinking frugally. All right, so you can see I've got some nice bling. Okay, and so let's see. Let's do a jewel, because y'all know that I love to do my jewels. I'm going to want a these are going to be green, so I want that to be green as well. I want a nice pale green, a nice, excuse me, let me see here. That's a yellow green. I want give me the apple green, please. It's an olive green. Don't want that. There's my apple green. Okay. So, let's see here. I'm going to start out around the edge. And then I'm just going to make sort of, sort of a sideways moon-shaped goodie. Okay. I'm going to come back down and fill in a little bit of this. Now, of course, I just do transparent glass, but if you want to really learn how to do gemstones, and I mean really learn how to do them, you need to be watching Vitruvian Art. Because nobody does it better than Rose Rambo. Okay, so this is this very, very pale yellow, which is called pale green or pale green. So I'm putting this in down here as my base. And I'm also putting it over the areas where I have already touched it with the darker. All right, and now I can go back to the apple green, which is dark. And I come around the outside, the very outside edges, sort of around here and a little bit up. So once again, sort of now I'm making sort of a smiley face the other way. I'm going to round off my corners just a tiny bit. Now I can bring this down just a little to sort of narrow up that space. So now I've got my middle green, which is my yellow green. So I'm going to come in, which is just a sort of a step lighter. I'm just going to use that to sort of narrow that space just a little bit, just lightening up as you go toward the interior. You're just completely lightening your pressure to just nothing but the pencil weight. Go around the outside again, maybe add just a little bit, smooth off those, that kind of harsh edge. Go back to your darker green. Just sort of lightly go like that. And then I'll take my lightest green and just sort of go over the whole thing, except for the white spots. Add a little bit more of the pale green to smooth out those edges. Make it just very translucent. Okay, so just like that. Now, if you want to make it stand out even more, you can pull a darker green. You can add a little blue green. You pull a darker green and just do your very outside edges. Where it would be bent over. Now I do it like this so that I don't have to worry about using Posca to create that white accent. But if you don't want to do it that way, then you can straight color it and just use a Posca pen, a white, white acrylic paint pen, or a Uniball, or a, whatever it is that you prefer to make your highlight. So Amazon bought you the last Coloring Book Cafe book and a lovely set of budget pencils. Oh, hey, that's cool. I love those lightning deals. I really do. I haven't been able to catch one forever, but but they are so good when they occur. Back in the house, just finished a posted pack. Awaiting blackberry and apple season now. Oh, yum. Ooh, blackberries, yum. Love blackberries. Okay, so now I can decide on other colors. So because I've used this sort of gold combination here, I think I want to use the gold combination also in here. So I've got my gold and yellow. Nope, that was not the color that I was using. I've got my dark yellow. That we'll use in here. Sort of brightening it up around the edges. And then using my, let's see here. Darker, or this is the sort of darker or what do you want to call this? Light brown. Thank you. Just use the name, Christine. The pencils have a name. Use them. Yeah, I am just hoping that this particular storm is not one of my eye nemesises. But given that pretty much my wishes always my wishes for the eye storms have never actually that's not really true. They have, in fact. There's always a happy, there's always a happy story somewhere in there. I got my vacation, got the upgrades, so I guess I have the storm to thank for that. Seems hard to believe that was, what, 30 years ago now. Huh. Any of us feeling old these days as we remember the things that we remember all the things that have happened and since we were old enough to begin voting um, or back when we went to school and were kids and and curfew was when the sun went down and all right, so we'll just leave that for right now. Go with a little bit of the navy blue in here. Is anybody but me avoiding Facebook these days? Yeah, when the street lights came on. Yes, exactly, Kim. Exactly. When it was too dark outside to play anymore. I mean, we used to take off on our bikes and and ride to the beach, which was like 14 miles away, and down Beach Boulevard in Los Angeles or in Orange County to Huntington Beach. And if you made that trip and you knew you weren't supposed to, you darn well better make sure you got back on time. Yeah, Kathy, I agree. A lot has happened. I can always tell when it's going to rain because I get a sinus headache and my back aches. And then when it has rained, or if it's going to rain for multiple days, I'll develop a cough, and I'll cough for literally. I mean, coughing is of course coughing is different than clearing my throat. The coughing is the the sort of uncontrollable you know, I just can't stop, kind of thing. And so when it's raining and moist outside, that is what happens. Now these are technically, I don't know why I'm coloring these blue, because they're supposed to technically be flower stems, but oh well. They get to be part of the background now. All right, now. Oh my goodness, 325. All right, let's do a flower. Let's do a flower. I want to go ahead and pull, so I keep, you know, fairly limited colors. I do want to go ahead and pull the flowers from the butterfly colors. But so they know which, you know, so they know which flower to go to. So I'm going to choose this flower first because I want it to be the one that, well, shoot. Do I? I do. I want it to be the one that, oh, I don't know. Now, see, now this is a problem. Okay. This one here is going to be, but it can't be, but it has to be. Oh dear. Can a butterfly be green? Well, it doesn't matter because I can't have a green flower. Oh, there's my literal mind going again. Okay. Let's do this. Uh, choices. This is where I get tripped up every time. Too many choices. Too many choices. That's plum. That's dark rose. Let's see. Plum, dark rose, lavender, new. Plum, dark rose, and pale pink. Okay. Yeah, I want that one to be the yellow. All right, so I'm going to do this one in the, yeah, okay. So this one is pale pink. So we'll go with just a light layer of this pretty pale pink all over our flower. And yeah, all over our flower. And you can see how quickly you can actually do that. And I'm only putting on the pale pink first because I know I want these darker, but I don't know yet how dark. So adding a little bit of a color underneath helps to blend the colors on top. So it's just like adding a slick layer for your paints to move around on, or in this case, your pencil leads. Excuse me. Goodness gracious. I know I should talk. Talk, Christine. Talk. It's your book and your imagination. There you go. It can be whatever I want. Uh, yeah, I know. Oh, why? Wait. Oh, recent. Just because it's just. I mean, it's just got. people are yelling at each other and they're being vicious. Now, I have absolutely no issue with people who want to engage in intelligent debate. But when they resort to name calling, uh, when they actually, my biggest problem with it is with the amount of people that are insisting that information that has long since been debunked is true. And they're doing it without any logical explanation. So that is why I've been avoiding it, simply because my blood pressure just won't take it. I get upset. I want people to be smart. I don't want people to fall into into pitfalls that and no way out. I don't want people getting sick. I don't want people believing bullshit. Never stop. Um, you know, so it is torture. It is absolute torture for me, as I think it is for any empathetic person. Um, you know, uh, and so it's best to be avoided. It's, relatively simple fix. I just avoid it. So if you don't see me there, that is one of the reasons why. Although, I mean, it certainly doesn't happen in the coloring groups or anything like that. But if if you spend, at least me, because I'd have to block people that I actually admire or am friendly with, and I don't want to do that either. So I just avoid it. That way, I don't have to watch it. And on YouTube, I watch coloring. I watch, good recipes. I watch people being kind to one another. I watch kittens playing. uh, you know, I watch Intelligence Squared and TED Talks and, and Neil deGrasse Tyson and Frontline and PBS and the BBC. And I can make a full day out of it without once ever having to go near Facebook or for anything other than interaction in my coloring groups and stuff like that. So, I mean, I still go there. I look at my messages and stuff like that. So I'm just pulling in just in these back sections here, just a little bit. I'm going to increase the contrast of these colors. But I'm just sort of adding a little shape and definition to the petals with a little bit of this plum color. I think this is the plum. Yeah, this is the plum. Eckhart Tolle. I don't know who that is. Kathy, chances are that if they're not somebody that I've seen on, on, I guess, I mean, like, I can't even watch Oprah anymore. I just, I just stick with, I just stick with, I just stick with smart debate. That's all. That's all. Points, both sides, points made clearly, both sides of an argument's points made clearly, um, reasonable conversation. That's all it's reasonable conversation. I don't watch anybody that is controversial, or that takes on, subjects from one point, or one view only. If they can't clearly articulate the issues and actually offer up solutions that are workable, if they're not accusatory or uh, or calling the other side stupid, those are the people that I want to listen to. Because everybody can believe whatever they want, but if they can't tell you why they believe it, they can't articulate that, then they don't stand a chance of convincing anybody that they're right. So, and that's that social media has devolved into people who are just yelling at each other. Not in our community, obviously. I do. I love Lisa's Coloring Corner, Thomas. I watch her all the time. Um, and she also watches some of mine back, and she's featured my books and art on her channel before, and it's just so lovely. Lisa is a lovely human being. Um, and and it's like spending time with Anne and spending time with any of the colorists. We keep all of that stuff out of our world mostly. And that's one of the reasons why I look forward to Sundays so much. So we can do that, and then during the week I get to visit, with various people and various groups that are nice, and everybody is kind to one another. Trust me, this YouTube is running pretty much all the hours that I'm awake. I couldn't tell you, except for the local news. And I do mean, the local, the local news. I haven't had the television on. All right, now this is deep purple. So I am going to go in with this in these really deep areas. And just sort of increase that contrast a little. This is, the only sort of homage to true shaded coloring that I'm going to do in this piece are these, are the just sort of making sure that the flowers sort of pop in the contrast. And if you really want to do that better, there's nothing better than a gray. So if you want to go in with your dark gray, but I was thinking that the dark gray might be better as a blend over that purple to sort of bring it out. Um, yeah, I do too. I do too, Mona. I put it at full screen, and then or I'm on the mini screen while I'm doing something else. And either way, I can't see the comments. So I watch a lot of coloring channels, and no one knows I'm there because I'm usually doing something else. While I'm watching. But I'm giving those channels watch time and um, you know, and generally if they're coloring something, as I'm trying to learn a new technique or something like that, it's wonderful because I get to concentrate on. I mean, I love to chat, but sometimes I just want to learn. I'm not very good yet. Trying to learn. And then today I noticed that Cinnamon Cooney did an early live. She usually, well, actually, it may not be early. She used to come on about half hour after I started, and now she's coming on about half hour before. So, and I love the art Sherpa, but I have to watch her back because I obviously haven't been able to catch her since I've been doing lives. All right, so that's just, I mean, that'll get that one started. I'll deepen the colors on that probably, or maybe not. Maybe I'll just leave it alone. Um, let's try a bit of vine. Shall we try a bit of vine? I do want the darkest green, which I think is the barrack green. And guys, I apologize. I didn't mean to sort of, go off on a tangent there. Um, and I'm not saying that everybody should avoid social media. I'm saying that I have to, and I'm pretty sure that I'm not alone, and that we're there's a lot of us who are just scrolling on by a lot of things these days, or at least trying to. Okay, so this is I'm just coming out from under leaves and things like that with this darker green here in the joints of the vine. And also, and this is something that this is so important. Actually, I should show it to you. Let me see if I can find it. I can. All right. Lori over at Color My World. She is the one who sort of came up with what she calls the little black dress of leaf recipes. Now, I have put a little note, works for everything. It really does. It is it's amazing how these colors work together, and they are they don't have to be the exact same colors. They can be in the color family, but the whole idea is the sienna brown, the white, the peacock green, which is a blue green, the apple green, which is a yellow green, the cream, and the chartreuse, which of course is a bright, a bright yellowy green. Um, and they work together in all sorts of variations. Um, and so they'll even work together on this. So as I do this, excuse me, I'm not going to be afraid to bring in a little brown. You know, this is the light brown, which in the Sargent Art set is as close to sienna brown as I'm going to get. You know, so you can add a little bit of that. Add it as an undertone. You've got your apple green. In this particular set, apple green is a little bit on the darker side, but it is, whereas the bear green is a blue green, the apple green is a more yellowy green. So you can throw it in. And see how when it hits that brown, it works together. You know, your yellow green can use that in your lighter spaces to maybe, you know, show light, or over the darker ones to show, you know, variegation. So you can just be creative. I mean, even here, the daisy yellow, which is as close to cream as you know you could probably get. You could add a little bits of that in various areas. So maybe I'll add some cream up here on this leaf, or you know, or over here, down here, and you know, maybe I'll use the throw some texture leaves in there, and you know, kind of maybe come around so that this is darker down here. And then this part is lighter. So you can just do all sorts of different things. You can, or you can straight color it, you know, or you can straight color it, whichever you would prefer to do. But once you get a little bit of a formula together, and you know, you can then decide, like, you know, this is that light sort of chartreusey green, the pale green. So you can go over your cream, and then you can add a little more green. You just sort of feel around, see how it looks. Look at the way a leaf is lit. See, so maybe I'll just leave that part on this one. And, you know, then I can go to my cream and blend it all out. Have a little, you know, texture in it and all of that. So, and Mona, thank you. I I think all your work is wonderful. You know, give yourself enough credit. I give myself credit, but I don't. I mean, I don't. I mean, I am still learning. I am, until I can routinely turn out work that, you know, that it's like anything else. It just takes practice. You know, I look at stuff that Dee Dee just whips out, and you know, perfect example was this. You know, this whatever. I think it was Wednesday. She was coloring bunnies, or not coloring, but drawing bunnies, rabbits, in a sketchbook, and she just That takes me hours to do, painstakingly erasing, trying again, erasing, trying again. But the difference is that I haven't put in 1,000 hours learning to draw a bunny. And Dee Dee, who has been drawing for 50 years, has. So, they say that you don't start to get any good at all until you have, until you have been drawing for 10,000 hours. Well, yeah, that's true. And then you get better the next 10,000. But you do have to keep drawing. And even Dee Dee practices every single day. Every day. So, and plus, of course, that this style here sort of suits me. The idea of switching up my pencils and creating texture and doing all of that kind of good stuff. So, anyway, I'm gonna like the way this turns out. I'm really happy for this color palette. I think that it is Barb's. It's either Barb's or Carol's. I don't know which. But thanks for the inspiration, ladies. And Barb, once again, thank you so much for that super chat. That was so kind of you. And yep, that reminds me, folks. Anytime those sales in my Etsy shop can come through, that's great. Just saying, they deposited $1.96 in my checking account last week. I was like, what? But it was all the fees. It was all my renewal fees and stuff like that came due. So I got $1.96. Still have it. Because you can't buy anything for $1.96. So, maybe you're not going to do that. Maybe you're just going to do a little, 3-tone or whatever. Make it darker out at the edge. If you've got a leaf that's in shade, you can do that. So, make it dark right there. If it's shaded, it's in the shade. So, and then just use your lighter color to blend out the harsh edge. Or not, especially if it's shaded. If it's shaded, you don't need to blend out the harsh edge because nature would have already put it in there. So you got down here, this would be really shaded as it comes in or under the other vine, but there might be just that hint of light from the sun hitting the top of it as it shines through these two vines. So you're making up stories in your mind as you are coloring along. Now, I cannot be the only one that does that, right? Okay, Mona, have a good dinner, and I hopefully will run into you somewhere during the week, and if not, I'll see you next week, I hope. Hello, Connie. Nice to see you, my dear. And thank you so very much. And I'm having a lot of fun actually with this one. And and I'll anyway. And yeah, it actually is. I'm within 5 minutes of my time here. So yeah, I think I'm gonna like this one. I'm gonna like this one a lot. See, here's my problem. I start these and I end up liking the where it's going, so I want to keep going with it. But unfortunately, I never get very far on a stream. I guess I could bring it back and do a part two. I may do a part two. That may be my midweek. I apologize for not doing a midweek this week. I had actually gotten so far on Platypus last week that I didn't feel he warranted. There wasn't enough left to do on him to warrant a midweek video. Um, uh, and I could have and should have probably done something else, uh, but I ran into just sort of the buzzsaw of I ran into a buzzsaw of depression is really what happened. I just got slammed with it on Tuesday I think it was. So and then by Thursday when it was clear that there was going to be a recess instead of a way instead of a way forward for our particular Congress. Uh, I just couldn't find the heart to do anything. So I do apologize. Hopefully, keeping our fingers crossed, we'll do better next week. Hey, y'all know I'm a political junkie. I watch all the hearings. I watch all the. I feel like it's my responsibility as a citizen to know what's going on. So that's why I do it, and it takes its toll. The alternative is to ignore what's going on, and that is unacceptable. So it's like wow, stuck between a rock and a hard place for those of us who use coloring as therapy. Thank goodness so that we have it, and thank goodness we have a fellowship and we can actually get together in rooms and yak at each other and watch people that are talented color. I'm pleased to count myself at least among one of those two. I I can draw. I'm just learning to color, um, and hopefully you guys are along for the journey. And I'm passing along the things that I learned. So yeah. Well, depression is nothing new. I usually have. I mean, I've been since I started to draw, since I really started using drawing as a therapy. It has really worked. I just it's just it really is just sort of current events, and then a couple of things that I just don't talk about that are currently happening that are also you know contributing factors. But we do the best we can do to get through a day, all of us, and that is really all we can do. And so reach out to those people that are hurting in the world, and together, you know, we will all see tomorrow. We will all see tomorrow. That's for sure. And so up we go until we meet again. What will we do? Hopefully, we will color something pretty. Thank you all for coming, Connie and Kathy and Mona and Corolla and Heather, thank you for being my mod. You want to keep the wrench? You can keep it. And Mona, thank you again for volunteering to help out. And Kim, thank you for all that you do. And to all of you, to each and every one of you, Daryl Lynn, who has just become such a faithful watcher, um, and Leah, hello, welcome, and to everybody, who spends time with me, Thomas, and people that just show up week after week, um, and you just make my day. You just make my day. And in this particular case, you made my week and you saved me. Looking forward saves me. Joey, hello, my dear. I was just worrying about you the other day. I should have called you or written you or something, but uh, but yay, I'm glad to see you once again, Corolla. Please give your mother a hug for me. Tell her I hope she is having a good day. And yeah, thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the PayPal donations. Thank you for the purchases in my Etsy shop. New merchandise coming soon. As you can see, I'm almost done with that one drawing. Love to everybody. Bye, all.